You know, when you see these businesses out there celebrating their 75th anniversary and these different things, it's like, wow, that really has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
So it's really quite an interesting thing when we look at that. And then you had mentioned liquidation, which is my least favorite option, but
Like,
one that a lot of retailers pick because they don't know that either one, they haven't got their business set up so that it would actually sell properly, because they haven't spent the time that we on the things we've talked about today
sure.
in this episode. And or maybe they just need a quick out and they want to be done. And the lease is coming due and they don't know where to renew
Yeah,
for another five
exactly.
years.
That I've
I
seen this
mean,
story dozens of times. The lease is
same here.
up. They're
Yep.
going to raise the lease. They don't
Yep.
want to move.
Yep.
They got too
But you
much.
know what?
Yeah.
This is poor planning
Yeah.
because they knew the lease was coming up 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So if they would have started planning 3 years ago and started setting all this stuff up, number one, their business probably would have been running a whole lot better. And number two, they may have been confident enough to sign the lease if they've already removed themselves from the business and let their team run it. And number three, if they really didn't want it, it would have been actually valuable to sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is. Yeah. I think liquidation is like the option of last resort for a lot of people,
Yeah.
sadly.
But
Like,
it's the way that a lot of them happen, and I find it sad.
yeah, because there's a lot of lost value there.
If you have family in the business and your family, potentially you're paying, I don't know, your son $50,000 when you're paying everybody else who's doing the same job 40,000. So you're
Right.
giving your son a premium of $10,000 for the same job as everybody else. Well, that has to be recast because chances are the new owner isn't going to hire your son for 10,000 more than he's hiring everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So all
That
of
all sounds
these
reasonable
things,
now. Right.
yeah, all of these things happen every day in business. So
Mhm.
we need to spend some time, go back through all of those things,
Yeah.
recast the earnings,
Mhm.
recast the balance sheet to get a more clear picture. And
Right.
once we have a clear picture of the true, let's call it a balance sheet for the new owner and the true income and expense report for the new owner, then we look at the multiples of that and
Mhm.
we recast that income and we start looking at those four C's that we talked about, right? And we want to see how strong those are. How strong is your customer list? Because if this new person takes over, let's just say you had five major accounts and all of those five major accounts are actually fishing buddies of the existing owners, and your
Right.
other 20 accounts are, just everybody else. But the five ones, or even four of the five that are personal friends with the owner.